York judge set March 2026 trial for the It Ends With Us lawsuit between film star Blake Lively and director Justin Baldoni.
I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
Things haven't exactly been great for Blake Lively lately, and honestly, it's looking worse by the day. At one point, she was on top of the world, steering the narrative effortlessly, seemingly untouchable. But now, her carefully curated persona is unraveling in the most spectacular fashion. And it's nobody's fault but her own. But do you know what's wild about all this drama? It should never have happened in the first place. If Blake had stuck to her job, which is to play the Lily Bloom character, she would never have found herself embroiled in such a messy scandal. Instead, her ambitions got the better of her, and she decided she wanted to eat her cake and have it. Well, look how that turned out.
Pointing the finger at somebody. Like if we were in a conversation and we didn't know each other, and I was coming at you like this.
There has always been this lingering rumor that the chemistry between Lily Bloom and Ryle, away from the big screen, might not be as professional as they have us believe. If you've watched the movie, you probably noticed how naturally they flow together. While you might argue that they're just great actors who are awesome at their jobs, which is technically true, it's undeniable that there might be more to their chemistry than meets the eye. And now, we've got some juicy whispers floating around Hollywood about flirty texts and steamy behind-the-scenes interactions between Blake and Justin. Yep, you heard that right. It looks like there's more to the rumors after all.
Okay, there. Okay, so he puts his like head in her neck.
I'm not getting beard on you today.
And says, "Am I getting beard on you?"
It smells good.
After seeing that, you've got to ask, was Blake genuinely uncomfortable with Baldoni? Or was there more to their relationship beneath the surface that they aren't telling us? Maybe I'm wrong, but she doesn't look like someone who isn't having a good time on set. At this point, it's looking like the truth could be even messier than we imagined. But you know what's baffling about Blake Lively's personality? It's her insatiable thirst for control. Sources close to the set claimed they were shocked by the way she switched from the seemingly cheery actress to a power-hungry dictator overnight. You know, there's nothing wrong with being ambitious, but Blake takes it to another level. She's willing to bulldoze anyone in her path, including Baldoni. She didn't care for a second about anyone else's feelings. If it served her purpose, she'd step on anyone, and she wouldn't even flinch.
Once they saw that I was able to offer that, and sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor.
That's Blake literally admitting she'd do anything and say anything to get a role. And after she does, she'll try to manipulate her way into getting authorship with or without the director's consent. Now, just imagine the things she'd do to a cast member she doesn't like if she's willing to play this dirty with directors. And honestly, it explains a lot. Notice how, throughout this scandal, not a single former co-star publicly supported her. From her Gossip Girl days to now, the silence is deafening. No one came to her defense, indicating she might not have left the best impressions behind the scenes.
And then she had the nerve, because she had 2 minutes of bad publicity when the film hit, to come out and try to blame it all on him.
Despite her squeaky clean personality and her Hollywood Golden Girl status, Blake has never really been well-liked by fans and critics. Over the years, her team put in a lot of effort to portray her as this sweet angel. And even though it worked to an extent, it was just waiting to be unraveled. And unraveled it was. Baldoni tanked her credibility and sweet girl status in the craziest way imaginable. Not only did he render her claims as bogus and overreaching, but he also made sure the world saw through her facade. He ensured we knew that behind that cute smile lay a cunning and manipulative personality. And one thing about not having a likable character is that the moment the world sees you for what you are, They're going to switch up on you faster than the speed of light, which is exactly what happened to Blake.
Were the ones out there generating negative press against Justin. You bullies were the ones who were trying to ruin Justin so you could have your way on all the scenes and all the wardrobe and all the control.
Remember, public opinion turned harshly against Lively during the film's promo tours. Fans criticized her for completely missing the mark on discussing the serious themes of domestic violence that made the book popular. They didn't like how playful and generic her answers were to serious questions asked by interviewers. And as fans always do, they bombarded her page, venting how they felt. But rather than acknowledge the valid criticism toward her, she blamed the entire backlash on Baldoni, claiming it was a smear campaign orchestrated by him.
Things sort of get complicated. Many are accusing Blake Lively of using the film's promotional campaign to promote things other than the movie, like her hairline, or a lot of the interviews give off a fun, flowery image.
This was one of Lively's biggest mistakes in this drama, and she's probably regretted it ever since. It's so naive of her to think that she's immune to criticisms by fans and critics. The fact that she's insulated herself from controversy over the years doesn't make her invincible. The book this movie was adapted from has a massive cult following, which means they were all going to tune in to watch the film. Many of them relate to Lily's character so much because her experience in the book resonates with their real lives. So when they felt Lively wasn't taking the movie as seriously as they expected her to be, they called her out. You can't be promoting your hair products on press tours where fans expect you to talk about things that actually relate to the movie theme. That's just tone deaf, and to be honest, she deserved the dragging.
So if someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
You can't answer a serious question like that in such a manner and not expect to get dragged. Even if she can't relate to topics like domestic violence, she could have learned, or at least her team could have told her how to answer those questions. In the end, it boils down to the fact that she thought she could get away with anything. After all, she's the Golden Girl. Now, it's all backfired spectacularly. Her beauty brand, Blake Brown Beauty, reportedly saw a staggering 78% drop in sales in recent weeks. Fans are clearly distancing themselves because they no longer trust her integrity.
It feels like a very twisted rom-com to me. Like, the hatred on both sides is so intense, it makes you wonder if there was like a deep attraction.
But let's rewind a bit because this scandal is packed with juicy contradictions and outright lies. Blake's initial lawsuit accused Baldoni of refusing an intimacy coordinator because he needed an excuse to touch her inappropriately. However, Baldoni provided receipts showing that it was Blake herself who declined the intimacy coordinator he arranged. But you know what's even crazier? She wasn't complaining when he went over the sex scenes with her or when they acted it out for the movie. Yet, in her lawsuit, she told a completely different story. There's no doubt that when Blake filed this lawsuit in December, she didn't anticipate so much resistance from Justin. She probably never even imagined he would turn things around the way he did. Not only did he render her claims baseless, he provided concrete, indisputable evidence to back up every one of his counterclaims.
What they did was they worked with the New York Times. Her publicist worked directly with the New York Times. They shared illegally obtained text messages.
She also accused Justin of inappropriately caressing her during a dancing scene. According to her suit, he leaned in too close and kissed her neck while complimenting her that she smelled so good. But guess what? Baldoni's team released raw, behind-the-scenes footage that shows a completely different story. Blake was not only comfortable, but actively engaged in a flirty conversation with her sweet, handsome Ryle.
Mr. Baldoni was caressing Ms. Lively with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with their roles. When Ms. Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, "I'm not even attracted to you."
If Baldoni truly invaded her personal space, and she wasn't comfortable with it, wouldn't it make sense for her to straighten him out right there? You can't watch that footage twice to know that she enjoyed the attention and the coziness so much, which makes you wonder who's been inappropriate here. What's the whole point of a lawsuit if it keeps getting debunked with concrete evidence every step of the way?
It's like, oh my God, I forgot to tell you something else.
Oh, I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
This is where it gets downright scandalous. It turned out that it was Blake herself who was pushing for a sexier portrayal of Lily. She allegedly requested a raunchier wardrobe, telling Baldoni she wanted Lily to appear hotter. In fact, it was reported that she took over the wardrobe completely, making all the decisions on what she wanted Lily to wear in the film. Now you can see that the hypocrisy here is unreal. She's accusing him of sexualizing her role, yet she's the one who set the tone for it, and it gets worse. Blake Lively once admitted in a resurfaced 2008 Glamour interview to poisoning the entire cast of Gossip Girl against Penn Badgley simply because she didn't like him playing her love interest. Clearly, old habits die hard. On the It Ends With Us set, Blake repeated this pattern, turning cast members against Baldoni. Though actress Jenny Slate didn't buy into the drama, the younger Isabella Ferrer reportedly did.
Trying to poison the cast of Gossip Girl, which is where she made her name, against her co-star Penn Badgley, who played her love interest.
But you know what's even wilder about this whole drama? Initially, in her amended lawsuit, Blake claimed 2 actresses from the film would testify against Baldoni, Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer. While it's important to note that she didn't mention their names in the suit, everyone already knew it was these 2. However, Jenny Slate quickly distanced herself from the lawsuit. She's a veteran in the game, and she knows when the powers that be are playing dirty. But you know what's interesting? It turned out that the only major HR complaint she made was about being unhappy with the New York apartment she was staying in during filming. All she complained about was apartment arrangements, not harassment. So, she made it clear she wanted nothing to do with Blake's never-ending circus.
Why not? Why not let us see everything, like Justin Baldoni did?
Upon realizing that Jenny wouldn't succumb to her manipulations, Blake turned to Isabella Ferrer, a young and ambitious actress who was trying to make a name for herself in Hollywood. She immediately knew she'd be easier to sway, so she started sowing the seeds just like she did on the Gossip Girl set. Blake reportedly leveraged her industry clout to turn Isabella against Baldoni. The young actress, who couldn't stop praising Baldoni's character and personality, switched up completely out of nowhere. But here's the twist. Since Baldoni started fighting back with actual evidence, Isabella and others have grown suspiciously quiet.
That's called fraud. When you pretend you want to do the one thing and you'll do the thing they're hiring you for, but all along you have secret plans.
And the hypocrisy doesn't end there. Blake accused Justin of making her uncomfortable, yet some of the texts she sent to him told a different tale entirely. There was one particular flirty text she sent to him that will blow your mind. In that text, Lively wrote, "If you knew me in person longer, you would have a sense of how flirty and yummy the ball-busting will play. It's my love language, spicy and playfully bold, never with teeth." Yep, Blake sent that to Baldoni. While there's no doubt she's talking about one of the scenes, you can't deny that the text was dripping with innuendos. She was probably hoping he would catch on to the double meaning behind the text, but Baldoni pretends like he didn't. He quickly changed the subject, clearly not reciprocating her flirtation. Now imagine what it would be like, one-on-one on set with her. We can't deny the fact that Baldoni is one fine specimen of a man. He's super attractive and distracting, no doubt. So it's not entirely impossible to think she developed some sort of feelings for him, or maybe it was just part of her game all along. Either way, the bottom line doesn't change. Blake's carefully crafted victim narrative is falling apart faster than she can piece it together. Her inability to keep her story straight, coupled with undeniable receipts from Baldoni, has shattered her credibility. With the court date looming, Blake's desperate moves, like hiring former CIA operative Nick Shapiro to handle her PR crisis, make her look even worse. Meanwhile, Baldoni has continued dropping evidence after evidence, dismantling every one of Blake's accusations effortlessly. The raw behind-the-scenes footage, her own contradictory interviews, and Baldoni's calm transparency have made him seem believable and her increasingly desperate. In Hollywood, reputation is everything. And right now, Blake's is hanging by a thread. Will she wave the white flag, or will Baldoni deliver the final blow in court? One thing is clear. This explosive saga is far from over, and we'll be here to spill every juicy detail. So, what's your take on the possibility of Blake wanting to be more than just Baldoni's co-star? Do you think it's impossible to imagine she wanted a taste of the cake? Share your thoughts in the comments. And while you're at it, leave us a like and subscribe to our channel, because this drama is far from over.